Hi everyone, it's Caris. Today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my bookshelf tour. Because I've got so many books and 3 full bookcases, this video is probably going to be quite a long one, so just an advance warning for that, and because of that I'm just going to get straight into it, so I hope you enjoy seeing which books I've got. So I just have 3 books here and they're all part of the Puffin in Bloom collection, and they are A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, and Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So this is the top of my individual bookcase, and I just thought I would show it you like this to start with. So just on top of here I have basically all of the books in the Series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket. So I've brought you a bit closer and now I'm going to start showing you exactly which books I have on each shelf. So I'm going to start with the top one, and just as an overview you can see that I have 2 stacks of books. On the left hand side of my shelves I have all of my Daphne du Maurier books and my Gillian Flynn books. Then continuing on with the mystery thriller sort of theme, I have all of those sorts of books, and then we hit my YA books that couldn't fit on my main bookcase. So first of all, this top shelf is decorated by these really cute little butterfly candle holders, and bookwise I have My Cousin Rachel, Jamaica Inn, Rebecca, The House on the Strand, all by Daphne du Maurier, Dark Places, Sharp Objects, Gone Girl, and 2 copies of The Grown Up, all by Gillian Flynn, Those Girls by Chevy Stevens, In Bitter Chill by Sarah Ward, You by Carolyn Kepnes, I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, After Anna by Alex Lake, Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant, all by Veronica Roth, Uglies and Pretties by Scott Westerfeld, The Maze Runner by James Dashner, The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men, all by Patrick Ness, Gone by Michael Grant, Witch Hunter by Virginia Boaker. On to shelf 2, which moves along from historical fiction to adult fiction to children's fiction. Firstly, on these shelves I have 3 really cool pins from various hard rock cafes. So this one's from Krakow, this one is from Copenhagen, and this one is from Stockholm. One of the Girls in the Band, The Memoirs of a Violinist from Birkenau by Helena Dunix-Nowinska, Fall of Giants and Winter of the World by Ken Follett, Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand, Helga's Diary, a young girl's account of life in a concentration camp by Helga Weiss, After Auschwitz by Eva Schloss, The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, Skins the Novel by Ali Cronin, Orange is the New Black, My Time in a Woman's Prison by Piper Kerman, Is It Just Me by Miranda Hart, The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks, Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, White's Teeth by Zadie Smith, One Day by David Nichols, The Snow Child by Owen Ivey, The Little Coffee Shop of Kabul by Deborah Rodriguez, The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini, Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini, Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Graham, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, The Railway Children by E. Nesbitt, Beatrix Potter Collection Volume 1 by Beatrix Potter, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl, Vicky Angel and Opal Plumstead by Jacqueline Wilson, The School at the Chalet by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer, Ballet Shoes and Party Shoes, all by Noelle Streetfield, Ariel Poems by Sylvia Plath, Collected Poems by Sylvia Plath. On the 3rd shelf down I have more general adult fiction and then some classics. But the first things that you can see on here are this Greetings from Uganda board thing. I've never been to Uganda. I'm pretty sure this was one of those things that I got when I used to have pen pals. This set of Bookworm boutique badges which I got in an owl crate, and Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig which I just have pointing outwards, The Time Traveller's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger, Mudbound by Hilary Jordan, Skylight by Kelly Simmons, The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver, Bright Lights Big City by Jay McKinney, The Red House by Mark Haddon, The Twins by Saskia Sargentson, Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt, The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards, Nights at the Circus by Angela Carter, The Colour Purple by Alice Walker, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, 1984 by George Orwell, On the Road by Jack Kerouac, Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys, Antigone, Oedipus the King and Electra by Sophocles, Vathek by William Beckford, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, another copy of Ariel by Sylvia Plath, The Great Gatsby Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, Stung with Love, Poems and Fragments by Sappho, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, As You Like It by William Shakespeare, The Penguin Book of Witches. Then I have a whole stack of Penguin Little Black Classics. I'm not going to go through all of them individually, but I do have a full video where I talk about all of these and mention them all individually there, so I'll link that in the description. Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Onto the bottom shelf, which is mainly random but also Shakespeare. Decorating this shelf, I just have this weird bookmark thing which I never use, and this postcard with a quote from King Lear on it, Gobblegruff by L. Stevenson and Sam Curry. Probably best just not to ask about that one. Degrassi Generations, the official 411. This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earl. Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler. My Life as a Traitor by Zara Garamani. The Call of the Wild by Jack London. Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. In Memoriam by Alfred Lord Tennyson. The Odyssey of Homer, translated by Richmond Latimer. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. The Illustrated Stratford Shakespeare. Henry V. Shakespeare's Poems. Hamlet. Measure for Measure. King Lear. And Romeo and Juliet. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. Critical Theory, a Graphic Guide. Frank by Ellen Hopkins. The King of the Rats by Melinda Salisbury. The Little Book of the Mind. 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die. The Hunger Games Tribute Guide. Anger Songs and Perfect Snogging. Startled by His Fairy Shorts. Love is a Many-Trousered Thing. Then He Ate My Boy in Trances. All by Louise Renison. And lastly, I just keep this little autograph book here. So that is it for my third bookshelf. I am really glad that I finally got things on this bookshelf, but I still think this is definitely the least exciting in my opinion. So let's just move on to my big bookshelf. So this is an overview of my big bookcase, and before I get into showing you the books, I thought I would show you what I have on top of them. So on this very top shelf I just have like some jewellery and bits and bobs, and then here I have my Peter Pan like sign thing which I got in London, some badges from Matilda the Musical, and then if I move these I also have some books here. So this is like a photo scrapbook thing. This is Lumberjanes Volume 1. Then I've got Emma by Jane Austen in the Penguin Clothbound Classics edition, and Charles Dickens's Bleak House also in that edition. And then here I've got some of my favourite things, which are laptop stickers, which I got at Yalk, but I put them on my bookcase because I thought they looked cute on here. So I've tried to get as much of my two main bookcases into this shot as possible. I think you can pretty much just about see everything, and I'm going to be starting off right in the very top corner here. This is where I keep my tall hardbacks and a few other things. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne and John Tiffany. The illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Jim Kay. Two tour programmes. I like to have these two on display because they're my faves. So I have Taylor Swift's 1989 World Tour and Little Mix The Get Weird Tour. Lists of note compiled by Sean Usher. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee and The Mountains Echoed by Khalid Hosseini. The Bone Season and The Mime Order, both by Samantha Shannon. All I Know Now by Carrie Hope Fletcher. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Girl Online and Girl Online on Tour, both by Zoe Sugg. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. We Need New Names by No Violet Bullaway. The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. Da Vinci's Tiger by L.M. Eliot. The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. Soundless by Rochelle Mead. The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. My Family for the War by Anne-C. Vorhover. Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin. Cut by Patricia McCormick. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cunn and David Levithan. Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and Hollow City, both by Ransom Riggs. And finally, Shatter Me by Tahara Murphy. Onto my next shelf, which is my first lot of hardback books, and you can see just taped above it I have a Polaroid of me and Louise in Norway, which I think is super cute. So first of all on this shelf I have two pop figurines, the first of which is Neville Longbottom and the second of which is, of course, Luna Lovegood. Luna and Neville should have been together. The first book I have on that shelf is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, If I Stay by Gail Foreman, Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and P.S. I Still Love You, both by Jenny Hahn, Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and The Unexpected Everything, also by Morgan Matson, Rebel Bell by Rachel Hawkins, 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate, The List by Siobhan Vivian, Firsts by Laurie Elizabeth Flynn, Every Last Word by Tamara Island Stone, Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, Lies My Girlfriend Told Me by Julianne Peters, Liars Inc. by Paula Stokes, The First Time She Drowned by Kerry Kletter, All the Rage by Courtney Summers, Dumpling by Julie Murphy, The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, None of the Above by I.W. Gregorio, When by Victoria Laurie, The Third Twin by C.J. Omalolu, A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGuinness, Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. The next shelf is a bit of a mix of a few leftover hardbacks and also some tall paperbacks. I also have another 2 Funko Pops on this shelf. I have this little Phoebe Buffet with her guitar, and following on with the Friends theme, I have a little Rachel Green. The first book I have on that shelf is A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir, Winter by Marissa Meyer, and Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Yes, splitting up the series annoys me too, but I'd rather have it like this than not have them in height order. Fairest by Marissa Meyer, Replica by Lauren Oliver, Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas, The Hate List by Jennifer Brown, The Effort List by Julie Halpern, Speak by Laurie House Anderson, November 9 by Colleen Hoover, It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini, Ask the Passengers by A.S. King, Me, Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews, Duff by Cody Keplinger, The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Hahn, They All Fall Down by Roxanne St. Clair, The Call by Paida O'Gwillan, Undone by Kat Clark, Read Me Like a Book by Liz Kessler, Asking for It by Louise O'Neill, My True Love Gave to Me, edited by Stephanie Perkins, and then I have the first 8 books in the Pretty Little Liars series by Sarah Shepherd. So Pretty Little Liars, Flawless, Perfect, Unbelievable, Wicked, Killer, Heartless, and Wanted. The next shelf contains the books in the Penguin Drop Caps collection, and then it sort of starts to move on to my contemporary series. I also have 2 Funko Pops on this shelf. First of all, I have a Rapunzel, which also comes with a little mini Pascal, and I also have an Ariel, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, My Antonia by Willa Cather, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Middlemarch by George Eliot, Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, Lord of the Flies by William Golding, Siddhartha by Herman Hesse, An Artist of the Floating World by Kazuo Ishiguro, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, Native Speaker by Chan Gray Lee, Moby Dick by Herman Melville, and 5 Children and It by E. Nesbitt. Next is the Burn for Burn trilogy by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian, consisting of Burn for Burn, Fire with Fire, and Ashes to Ashes, Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After, all by Stephanie Perkins. The Selection, The Elite, The One, and The Air, all by Kira Cass, and also The Siren by Kira Cass. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan, and Stolen by Lucy Christopher. The next shelf is also mainly contemporary series, and then I get into my red books because the rest of my shelves are sort of divided into colour, so a little bit of a rainbow. On this shelf I just keep the 1 Funko Pop, and that is the Hermione Granger Funko Pop. So book-wise I have Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, Paper Towns, The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, and An Abundance of Catherines, all by John Green, My Mad Fat Diary and My Madder Fatter Diary, both by Ray Earl. All of Holly Bourne's books, starting out with the Spinster Club trilogy, which consists of Am I Normal Yet?, How Hard Can Love Be?, and What's a Girl Gotta Do?, The Manifesto on How to Be Interesting, and Soulmates. Next to my Holly Bourne stuff, I also keep this What's a Girl Got to Do lipstick, which I got from Yalk, Geek Girl, Model Misfit, and Picture Perfect, all by Holly Smale. And next to that I keep this Geek Girl nail file, which I got from an event in Birmingham, I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak, A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ezeki, Winger by Andrew Smith, Dear Charlie by N.D. Gomez, The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan, Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, The Fever by Megan Abbott, The Memory Book by Laura Avery, Girl Out of Water by Nat Lurtsema, Solitaire by Alice Oseman, Until Friday Night by Abby Glines, Consumed by Abby Rushton, and Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider. The next shelf continues the rainbow by going through yellow, green and into blue. The 2 Funkos that I keep on this shelf are first of all Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Disgust from Inside Out. We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallach, Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Talley, The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, The Lost and the Found by Kat Clark, The Drowning of Arthur Braxton by Caroline Smales, There Will Be Lies by Nick Lake, Before I Die by Jenny Downham, One by Sarah Crossan, Emmy and Oliver by Robin Benway, The Square Root of Summer by Harriet Reuter Hapgood, Everything is Illuminated by Jonathan Safran Foyer, Unspeakable by Abby Rushton, Nothing Tastes as Good by Claire Hennessy, The Next Together by Lauren James, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, Moth Girls by Anne Cassidy, Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen, The Accident Season by Moira Fowley Doyle, Underwater by Marissa Reichart, You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Leatherton, Paperweight by Meg Haston, Lydia by Natasha Farrant, Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Lying About Last Summer by Sue Wallman, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Wonder by R.J. Palacio, My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, Monsters by Emerald Fennell, Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Bernard, and the same book again in the Zoella Book Club edition, Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. On the next shelf we reach the end of the rainbow by going through the blues, purples, pinks and into the whites. On this shelf I have the Katniss Everdeen Mockingjay Funko Pop. I also have a whole array of other things on this shelf, including these mini princesses that I got from Kinder Eggs, this little horse trinket, this little frog prince and this little mermaid replica statue thing that I got from Copenhagen. These Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly, The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, Vivian vs. the Apocalypse by Katie Coyle, Here Lies Bridget by Paige Harbison, Climbing a Monkey Puzzle Tree by Karen Wallace, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, Night Owls by Jen Bennett, Matilda by Roald Dahl, Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delara, The Deviants by CJ Scoose, The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, The Graces by Law Eve, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo, Girl Detached by Manuela Salvi, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl, Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood, Paper Butterflies by Lisa Heathfield, Dangerous Boys by Abigail Haas, Girlfriend in a Coma by Douglas Coupland, Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornall, Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow, Kook by Chris Vick, The Big Lie by Julie Mayhew, Winter Girls by Laurie House Anderson, The Disreputable History of Frankie Lando Banks by E. Lockhart, Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven, Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, When We Collided by Emery Lord, The It Girl by Katie Birchall, Follow Me Back by Nikki Cloak. The first shelf on the bottom is where I keep the rest of my white books, and then it moves on to silver, brown and black spines. On this shelf I also have a Professor Snape Funko Pop which I got in an owl crate. Also on this shelf, just on display, I have this copy of Little Mix's first single, Cannonball, and this, as you can see there, is signed by Jade and Leanne. I actually met them back when this was first out. From the left I have I Was Here by Gail Foreman, Carry On by Rainbow Rowell in the Colouring In edition, Contagion by Terry Terry, Haunt Me by Liz Kessler, Girls and Sex by Peggy Orenstein, Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver, 13 Minutes by Sarah Pinborough, Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland, The Perfectionists and The Good Girls, a duology by Sarah Shepherd, Conversion by Catherine Howe, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Songs About a Girl by Chris Russell, Seed by Lisa Heathfield, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne, With Malice by Eileen Cook, Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, Vendetta by Catherine Doyle, Cell 7 by Kerry Drury, Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten, How I Live Now by Meg Rossoff, The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, The Secret Fire by CJ Doherty and Karina Rosenfeld, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire and Mockingjay, all by Suzanne Collins. And finally, the last shelf is a continuation of the black books and then a couple of my bigger series. So I keep no Funko Pops on this shelf, but I do keep on it this bookmark, and I also keep another Little Mix signed CD. This is Wings, and I didn't actually meet them to get this signed like Cannonball. I pre-ordered this when this single was first announced and got sent a signed copy of it. So the first thing I keep on this shelf is Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, just because I don't know where else to put it. Half Bad by Sally Green, Saint Death by Marcus Sedgwick, A A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, Scarlet and Cress, both by Marissa Meyer. Then I have the two longest series that I own, starting with Harry Potter. So I have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire, The Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, and The Deathly Hallows, all by J.K. Rowling. And last but not least, I have all of the books in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R. R. Martin that are currently out. Starting off though with this map, which looks like this, and it came in the box of the books that I got. A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords Part 1, Steel and Snow, A Storm of Swords Part 2, Blood and Gold, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons Part 1, Dreams and Dust. So that was it for my bookshelf tour 2016. I really hope you enjoyed watching it and seeing what things I had. I really enjoyed making it, and I think I'm going to enjoy having this to look back on and seeing which books I had at this exact moment in time. If you want any information about any of the books I mentioned, definitely let me know in the comments. If I've read it, I can let you know what I thought of it. Other than that, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you again next time. Bye!